For the first time in years, the families of Abby Williams and Libby German can publicly talk about the case surrounding their murders in Delphi.
The judge lifted the gag order after sentencing Richard Allen to 130 years in prison. That sentence handed down this morning. We have a team that's been back in Delphi all day today in Carroll County, working to gather new information for you. Emily Longnecker has been speaking with Abby and Libby's families, as well as the law enforcement officers who worked on this case over these many years.
We'll begin tonight with senior investigative reporter Bob Siegel, who was in the courtroom for the verdict. He joins us live outside the courthouse tonight. Bob?
Felicia and Ann, 130-year prison sentence. That was the maximum even possible for Richard Allen. And the Carroll County prosecutor asked for that maximum, telling Judge Frances Gull he thinks Allen poses a threat to the community. The families of Abby and Libby also asked for the harshest penalty possible. The families were here today, as they have been throughout the trial. 6 of Abby and Libby's relatives presented emotional victim impact statements during the hearing. Libby's mother, Carrie Timmons, spoke directly to Richard Allen when she said, "I'll never understand how you were able to get away with this for so long." And she told the judge she was left with a literal hole in my soul following the murder of her daughter. Abby's grandmother, Diane Erskine, told the court, "This is not a day of celebration. This is a day of great sadness." And she said, "I will never be the same person I was before Abigail's murder." And some family members used their statements to lash out at Allen. Libby's cousin Josh Lank said Allen put the victims' families through a living hell for the past 8 years. And looking right at Allen, he said, "Now it's time for your life to be a living hell." And Libby's grandmother, Becky Patty, told Allen she hopes he lives the rest of his life in prison with the same sense of fear he instilled in his victims. Then she told the court, "I live every day with the burden of having allowed Abby and Libby to go to the trails that day, and I take responsibility for that. What about you, Richard Allen? Will you ever take responsibility for your actions that day?" Who we did not hear from in court, Richard Allen. He told the judge he did not wish to make any statement. We did not hear from Allen's family. They were not in court today, and we are told that was at Richard Allen's request. We also heard very little from Allen's defense team. After court, just a brief statement from attorney Jennifer Auger.
What they went through is unimaginable. We're looking forward to the next steps in our appeals. Other than that, we have nothing to say.
Now, Richard Allen has 30 days to file his appeal, and we already know he plans to do that. We heard that today from the attorneys. Although the victims' families addressed that in court today, they addressed it directly with Richard Allen, asking him during their statements not to appeal, and in their words, to let the girls rest in peace. Felicia, Ann, back to you.
All right, Bob Siegel reporting live for us tonight from Delphi. We are also hearing from more of Libby's family, as well as the people who worked on this case from the very beginning, dating back to February of 2017.
And they held a news conference about an hour after the judge sentenced Richard Allen. Our Emily Longnecker was there for it.
And Emily continues our live team coverage from Delphi right now with a look at what they had to say about the decision that was handed down today about the sentence. Emily?
Well, Ann and Felicia, first Mike Patty, Libby's grandfather, spoke. His remarks were pretty brief, given the fact that he had given that victim impact statement in court. He had a lot of thank yous to say. He thanked the Delphi community for standing by the families for almost 8 years. He also thanked Judge Gull for staying on course, and he said getting the family through this. He thanked investigators and the prosecution, and he also thanked the jury. Take a listen.
I really wanted to take the time to send out my appreciation that justice has been served for the girls. I want to thank the jurors. I hope they get a chance to see this, that they took time out of their lives and remained open-minded and objective and was able to look at the information and deliver a verdict. For that, I will always be grateful.
We also heard from Indiana State Police Superintendent Doug Carter. Carter said he was reminded that it had been 2,866 days since this all began. Carter says justice was served, and he hoped that people would heal now and tone down the rhetoric that sometimes has surrounded this case. In an interview later, Carter said he still asks why, and he hopes at some point Richard Allen will apologize.
Richard Allen has a conscience. And he's going to have a lot of time to stare at a concrete ceiling and think about what he did. The truth will set him free. Not literally, but the truth will set him free in his heart and in his mind and his conscience. I mean, I'm not going to hide my faith. Pretty faithful guy. And none of this matters other than what he thinks. And right now, he's pretty disappointed in Richard Allen.
One thing Carter said is that he's not disappointed in Richard Allen, that he wants to appeal. He says that is part of that, and he would probably do the same thing. Prosecutor Nick McClellan was asked during that news conference about something he said 2 years ago when they had another news conference announcing the arrest of Richard Allen. And what McClellan said at the time was that there was a possibility that other people could be involved. But today, McClellan said that it is their belief, investigators' belief, that no one else is involved, that they have no evidence to support that. But if anything is brought to investigators, they would look into that, even saying if Allen wants to come forward with information, they will listen and take a look at that. And Felicia?
All right, Emily Longnecker reporting live for us tonight outside of the courthouse in Delphi.
Yeah, a long emotional day. Thank you, Emily. And we've got more coverage of today's sentencing for you over the next 90 minutes.
Including some legal analysis with our expert, Katie Jackson Lindsay. She joins us at 5:30, breaking down what happened in the courtroom. And she also looks ahead to what we've been discussing, this appeals process. What does that look like? You can also catch her analysis during our Delphi debrief. That will be tonight at 7 o'clock. You can tune in on WTHR Plus.
And WTHR Plus is a free download on Fire Stick, Roku, as well as Apple TV.